Alright, welcome guys to the Slowpoke World, and today we have a deck which, in all honesty, this could be a really high tier deck, but it all kind of depends on how the meta pans out. But to tell you what, the raw damage, the raw aggression, and the raw just sheer bonkersness of it is really good. Let's have a look, baby. Darmanitan VMAX. Gee. I don't know why I said G-Max is VMAX, but you know. Anyway, let's have a look. So, I honestly think this deck's raw power output is insane. Let's actually have a look then at our Darmanitan VMAX. Now, normally, this is predominantly a spread deck. And when Pokemon do spread, they tend to like normally sort of neuter it, I feel, right? Like, look at Mega Galade, for example. It did 30 to bench Pokemon if they had a damage counter on. Like, why we make it? Well, there's always a stipulation with spread. Like, Weezing, it only does the ability to basic Pokemon. They tend to never really just have out and out good spread. And if they do, it's really low. Galarian Darmanitan VMAX hasn't got that problem. And if spread is always insane, it never does good damage to the active. Darmanitan VMAX doesn't have that problem. Darmanitan VMAX Pokemon 320 HP with one attack. Was it G-Max Snowfall, I think? Oh, it's something like that. I can't really read it. But it 4 for 200. So 200 is a mighty fine number. We all know. I mean, it doesn't quite reach into like Zacian, but it two-shots everything, which is fine. But then it also does 30 to all your opponent's bench Pokemon. Like, that is absolutely fine. Let me just double check that. Yeah, you bench Pokemon, yeah. So that is bonkers. Like, I'm just making sure. No drawbacks. So there is none of this. Like, you have to run a fleet of goons and nets. You have to like damage everything. This, and it isn't just a VMAX or G or EX like some spread decks are. This, like Ampharos V, for example, that only does it to Pokemon's got damage on them, right? This doesn't have that problem. It's just like, and let me tell you, that 30 is a good number. That adds up. You do 2 of these, that's 60 damage to all your opponent's bench. If you do 3, you're knocking out Jirachis. You know what I mean? And your 2-shot interactives. Don't underestimate this. This is extreme power. This is strong. Weakness to metal is kind of annoying. In all honesty, in this, I've just sort of taken the L to like Zacians. But you can play stuff like Lapras. And maybe a Keldeo as well. But that's the one downside. The attack's costly, but we're playing it with Frosmoth, spoiler alert. So we play a full 4-3. The Galarian Darmanitan V, I'm not actually sure what it does. Let's have a look. Basic Pokemon 220 HP, Freezing Headbutt 250. Your opponent's Pokemon's powers on a coin flip. I mean, that could come up. There's worse attacks to have. And then 3 for 190. Its Pokemon stones to itself. Okay, that's not too bad. As far as like V's go, if you're just using them to evolve, that's actually not too bad. There's actually a whole lot worse you could do. All those attacks are actually usable. So, I mean, the second one shot to Dene, and the first one's Paralysis on a coin flip. You know, that will come up in game. So, as far as evolving V's go, that's not too bad. So then we then play a full 4-3 Frosmoth. And this is obviously I want to get our energies into play because 4 energies is costly. It's the one downside really to Galarian to the VMAX. But we all know Frosmoth's a really good engine. See it with Lapras, see it with Inteleon. Really good. Letting you put any amount of water energies from your hand to your bench Pokemon. Bench water type, I should say. Nutty. So here's the spice. A 1-1 of the Alolan Sandslash Jax. You're probably thinking, what on earth is this here for? It's for its GX attack. And this is a perfect example of spread that's been neutered. Alolan Sandslash GX for 3 energy does 100 to all your opponent's Pokemon in play that have damage on already. So here's the idea, right? That will clear house on bench sitters, like Dedenes, Crobats, Jirachi. Like, and I actually think I haven't actually played it much, but this could give you a win kind against ADP. I mean, maybe not to take 4 prizes thinking about it, but against a load of other decks, you'll just win off that alone. All you have to do is G-Max Snowfall twice, then use that, and bang, all your opponents consistently Pokemon gone. Now, granted, they're probably not going to put down as many Denes and Crabats as they normally would, but we have a way to get around that. Number 1, number 2. If they're not setting up, you're still hitting them for 200. I tell you now, the sheer numbers this deck can just throw out. It's like you've got a machine gun and you just throwing damage around. Bonk, you might as well just get a tub of dice and just chuck it at your opponent's board. So even just like threatening, if you just leave Sancho on the bench, like your opponent can't bench anything, so they know what's coming. And if they go crazy with their bench for whatever reason, this will just clear up. In combination with the new tool card that we'll get onto, but we'll get onto it now. Pretty crazy, right? So I think, is it this one? Yeah, so we've got 2 long view scope. This is a tool card where any damage you do to your opponent's bench, V cards or GX, double check that, yeah, you do an extra 30. So you do 60 to Crobat V and Dedenne with Darmanitan. So you do that twice, yeah, that's 120 damage. In comes Alolan Sandslash. Put it on Alolan Sandslash, I do 130. Nothing can save on the bench with this deck, nothing. With long view scope, if you do 3 G-Max no-falls, you basically one-shot Crobat and Dedenne. Well, you know what I mean. You KO Crobat and Dedenne's on the bench. Just do it 3 times. If they've got 2 down, yeah, that's 4 prizes from the back, yeah, and you 2-shot their active, you just win. It's silly. Now, if you didn't want to play the Alolan Sandslash, if you feel as if that's win more, then you can bump up your long view scope count. That's the idea. And then we have some 2 Dedenne and 1 Crobat to finish it off. Now, the reason why I said at the start why I thought this could be a really high tier deck, because it just depends on how many decks are playing Mew. And in all honesty, with long view scope being in format now, Prime Max start one-shot in Crobat V, I imagine Mew was going to be played a lot. But if it's not, if your opponent's not playing Mew, but you can start running amok, let me tell you. I've been rambling. Let's get through the rest of the deck. 4 Professor's Research. I shouldn't really have to explain to you why we're playing that. We have 4 energy. We need multiple stage 1s. 4 research, non-negotiable. Now, this next one you might argue isn't negotiable, but for me it's really not. 4 Boss's Orders, and the reason we play 4 Boss's Orders is purely because of Mew. If your opponent might just slap down Mew really confidently, which is fine. If you can KO it though, granted you, it's not a very good target, but it now means you can afford to waste that turn into a Mew, because once the Mew's out the way, you are just doing so much damage to the bench where I think it's fine. So 4 Boss's Orders. 3 Marnie, just to help us set up. Our staging for choice is 1 Training Court. Training Court's pretty cool. Obviously, we want to discard a lot of energy, so you just hopefully bring them back. It's always nice. And 3 Marnie to have some hand disrupt whilst seeing more cards as well. 4 Quick Ball. Really should have talked to you about that. 4 Quick Ball. You know, we need multiple stage 1s. To get stage 1, we need to have basics down. 4 Quick Balls helps us do that. Which is also why we're playing 4 Snoms and 4 Galarian Darmanitan VMAX, by the way. 4 Pokemon, I feel like that's almost non-negotiable. You could try and squeeze in some Evo Incense if you'd like. For me, space. So we're going for 4 Pokemon. We've got enough Pokemon to hopefully they should always be live. 4 Switch, just because obviously Frosmoth needs to be obviously the benched Pokemon. So whatever we attach to, hopefully we can just switch over. Say we just leave like, I don't know, Sandshrew in the active. We attach all our energies to our VMAX and just switch them out basically. 3 Capacious Bucket. Now I wouldn't mind a 4th just because we are so energy hungry, but space again, so 3 is perfectly fine. It's basically read, you know, get 2 energies, and so if we see like 2 energies in our hand in a Capacious Bucket, we can get Snowfall going in 1 turn. So we've already gone through long view scope. We've got 2 Air Balloon again, so we can just hopefully Air Balloon always goes on to Frosmoth, so we can just promote Frosmoth for whatever reason, or we can switch into Frosmoth, attach Balloon, attach all our energies, retreat, bang. That's the idea. Or it gives ourselves Dedennes or Crobats pivots also. And then running up the list, is it? Okay. Oh dear, I think it's 11 energy. Oh, so I've messed this up. I tried to lay it out in a nice little line for you, and I've messed it up. And now Tabletop Simulator is thinking. So I apologize, guys. I think it's 11 energy, though. It could be 10. Let's have a look. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I feel as if it's 10. Yeah, it is 10. I was going to say, definitely wouldn't be 9. So we've got 10 basic water energies to round off the list. I feel like that's a good number. We need to see a lot to attack with G-Max Snowfall, so don't get cheeky with it, guys. You know, when your attack is so... Like, I'd argue this attack is broken, how strong it is. When your attack is that broken, don't get cheeky with it. Let's just use G-Max Snowfall as many times as we can, because you'll win games when you do. Put it that way. Don't get cheeky with your energy. Don't get cheeky with all that stuff, you know, like, just... That attack is silly. Like, I've been playing a long time since Boundaries Cross, come up to 10 years. That is a crazy attack. Don't get it twisted. Let me know what you think. Are you as enthusiastic as Galarian Darmanitan VMAX as I am? Leave it all in the comments. If you've got it this far, you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button for me. You know, much appreciated. Putting out vivid voltage content at least once a day. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.